Holy shit, The Rock just reposted.
My boy changed comedy twice.
Andrew Schulz is saving comedy.
Netflix is done.
They're not done.
Done.
What are you talking about?
They reach out to you and they're like, we want you to cut a couple jokes out.
The fucking audience is the one that gives me the notes.
What's up, people?
That's the fun thing. You gotta do something crazy.
You gotta come on our back. That's why they call them wetbacks. Now, guys, everybody, we're just getting started, guys. We're just getting started, okay? Okay, what do we got right here, Mark?
Okay, this is a brand new trend. It's called vabbing, all right? This is like going around TikTok.
At the gym.
Vabbing at the gym for the
first
first time.
You guys aren't gonna believe me. Okay, now I'm in the sauna, but it worked. The vabbing worked.
So just based off that alone, what do you think vabbing is?
I mean, I have no fucking
She
clue.
says, I'm vabbing at the gym, and then she goes, it worked, the vabbing was successful. If you had to guess.
No.
I'm something to do with the vagina,
Yes.
because va is in there.
Yeah.
And these women aren't creative enough to think of a new term. You know what I mean?
You're on it.
Vaginal what? Mark, any idea? Miles, any idea? My bad.
Vibrating.
This is basically a new phenomenon where women are mixing in their vaginal fluids, either with perfume or just going straight raw dog, and putting it on like their neck, in their hair, on their wrist.
Vaginal dabbing.
Like
Like
perfume.
when you dab perfume?
As a way to spread their pheromones and attract men in a more natural way.
It doesn't matter how much pussy juice that woman puts on that fucking calzone of a neck of hers. I am not hitting her. That girl's out of her mind. She's sitting there going, first of all, you're not going to the gym. They're like, don't even start with that. I was at the gym.
What's she wearing, first of all? Can we rewatch that video?
I'm not gonna play it again. I've refused, okay?
No, dude.
Yeah, you
Stop
have
that.
to. Yeah.
And this is bad. Now you have like younger women are gonna look at this and they're gonna be like throwing pussy juice all over their necks and shit.
Why is this bad?
So she's fully dressed in the sauna. So
Yeah, that was the weird
what
part.
the fuck is
I don't
going on
understand
with
why
this
she's
girl?
fully dressed in the sauna.
Well, maybe because she
needs
doesn't
to
go to the
sweat.
gym that often. She doesn't know how to dress in the sauna, dude. Come on,
Or
let's
maybe
be
she needs to
serious here.
sweat as much as humanly possible.
Yeah, stop it. This is.
But it's a
she's
whole thing.
faking.
People are doing this all
This is
over the
cap.
country.
This is cap.
Yeah, I don't believe.
What do you mean it's cap? It's happening. This woman is doing it right there.
Okay, but is it how do we know it's working? She's by herself in a sauna saying it worked.
Why wouldn't it work? Okay, the pheromones.
Hold on.
If you can smell them, you're gonna be drawn to it.
I don't know if you will 100%. We're not just drawn to pheromones. Like we have eyes, dude. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
People act like pheromones is a love potion. It's
Yeah.
not. It can heighten some stuff, but that's it.
Have you ever heard that shit though, where like they gave women a bunch of samples of t-shirts, smell all the shirts, whichever shirt, which one do you think smells the best? And then they did like a blind test on which guy they thought was most
And they
attractive.
were
There was
right?
a correlation between like the shirt smell and the guy.
I believe there's a correlation. But again, if I saw her,
Look at him. He looks like if
I
Jason said that you ask if your girl's Jewish.
No, I actually think that's interesting. I like experiments like that. Like that's a more like sophisticated version of astrology, right? So instead of like you were born on this day and your sun rising and that kind of shit, you're seeing who you're naturally attracted to. Now, are we naturally attracted to a smell or scent, or are we naturally attracted to an ability to protect and provide and the physiology and biology of someone that can do those things? For example, like, do women like a taller guy because they think, oh, you could probably protect me a little bit
Yes.
more? Like, is that override the smell?
I think attraction is physical first. Like how you look, appearance. And then it goes to this other stuff heightens it. Pheromones. That's when you really connect with somebody. I think.
Yeah.
When the pheromones line up. First, I think they're cute. Then they got the pheromones popping. We match up. Now we're in.
Now this sounds like a bit like, and it is like something that I thought of in that regard. I might even try it on stage, but like I think that if women are sexually attracted, like they are turned on by different things than us, then sexual harassment from them should be adjusted. For example, if a woman is
that's a great bit.
into tall guys,
Yeah.
right? If a girl goes, "How tall are you?"
That's sexual harassment.
That is akin to a guy asking about doing
cup
what
size.
fucking the guy did to AOC.
Yeah.
Like if you're just seeing guys go, "Oh, you're so tall," that's you're big booty Latina.
Yeah.
You're big booty
That's
Latina
great.
and me. right?
That's great.
So because you're not into physical looks in the same way that we are.
You fucking creep.
Yeah.
You're creep.
Grandma, what do you mean I was this tall when you fucking saw me last? Like, what do you, weirdo.
Oh, and now how you feel, Grandma?
Yeah.
Now that your boy all big and tall.
Yeah, I'm strong and handsome.
Exactly. But isn't there something to that? Like, what do you do for a living? Asking a guy what you do for a living, knowing full well that a certain profession might be attractive to you biologically. Not saying you're some fucking gold digger at all. I'm saying like your loins are craving a man who can protect you when you have a kid and you can't work. Your loins.
Son.
Okay, if you ask about my job, what's up with them areolas? Isn't that the
That's a quality. That's a
Should
quality.
we be able to come right back with that?
That's
What
a
do you
quality.
do for a living?
You know how often-
big your titties?
Big Kev, Hodor, you know how often he gets asked how tall are you by
Sexual
women?
harassment.
It's unbelievable the
Sexual
harassment this guy endures.
No dude ass.
No, dude.
I don't care
What?
exactly. How tall are you? Yeah, you tall.
That was the first thing I asked when I saw him. And then I asked his profession. I was like, do you play basketball, please? That was my second question.
It's like I shoot video for Akash.
Were you dying to ask that question to someone who wasn't black? Finally?
Yes.
You play
yes.
basketball?
It is
Seriously.
nice.
Finally. I can ask a white guy. I cannot be racist asking that
Yeah,
question.
dude. I like being white basketball players too. Those are like my heroes.
Why?
Because they're overcoming adversity, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's like that Tosh bit where he's like, dude, white players their points should count one extra.
Why?
Because it's like, he has a bunch of justifications for it. But he's like, yeah, it's harder for them to score points. So you might as well add a point to every basket they make. And then on top of that, it proves to black people that white people are going to always earn more than them.
Yo, Tosh is the GOAT, dude. We got to get Tosh on the podcast.
I would love that.
We got to get Tosh.
I would love that. He's great.
Yeah, he's a fucking beast.
All right, you want to hit one more?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay. Do you want to talk about Desus and Mero splitting up?
Yeah, man. That's unfortunate.
It's sad, yo. It's sad because we've known them since what? It's Guy Code.
Guy Code.
Yeah. And I didn't know how big they were until we did an AMA for like the first season of Guy Code or whatever we were on.
People were asking
and
them
every
all the
question was
questions.
Desus and Mero.
Yeah.
Charlamagne was with us, Andrew was there, and I
Yeah.
assumed all the questions would be them, and so many Desus and Mero questions. And the saddest thing is the friendship seems like
that
it's
right?
fucked up. That's what it seems like.
Oh, no.
Like it doesn't seem like it's amicable. To me, that's the saddest thing. And that's like, bro, I always think about that with this. Like the friendship, we always say to each other, friendship gotta come first.
That is what
has
matters
to come first. If it ends amicably, hey, everybody's happy. This is what was best. If it ends with the friendship going sour, fuck, dude, that sucks.
And also, if you nurture the friendship, then usually the business relationship will be good.
Yeah, but it does get harder because you get busier, and then the work becomes the friendship, and then you have to like, it's like a relationship. You got to like make time.
Yes.
That made me be like, yo, we got to like get dinner or something because we don't get time anymore.
100%. And like, I think one thing that we have that's very beneficial is that we both have things outside of this thing
Yes.
that nourish us.
Yes.
So like stand up, like, and I wonder if them not having that was also difficult. I mean, I don't know, but like the idea that you have your own thing, or like even having Brilliant Idiots, like another thing that I'm doing outside of this, so that there are kind of your identity is nourished in that way as well.
And we started with that. So when we step out, or when you start, you're still doing stuff on your own. If you start together, and then one of you steps out and does your own thing, the other person might be like, yo, what the fuck, yo? We're supposed to be
Are
together.
you leaving me?
This is understood. Stand-up is our love. We're going to do that all the time.
Yeah.
So I think that helps for sure.
Yeah, having that like thing that you're passionate about. Yeah. Stand-up is the shit, bro. Yeah. But also just like having a thing that you're passionate about and then everything else is serving that is so valuable when you're like an entertainer or whatever. Like, because if you're an entertainer for entertainer's sake, that's tricky, yo. You might not get them movie roles no more.
Right.
And then you might have to accept movies you don't like or don't want to do so you could get something. Right? Where it's just like, as a stand-up, like you get to do your jokes.
Yes.
That crowd might suck.
Yeah.
It might be a shitty venue on the road, but it's still the thing you want to say and the thing that you want to do.
You write the script.
Exactly. That is the passion. And there's a muscle that you're working on. I guess if you do a shitty movie, you can like work on the muscle of acting within that movie. But like, we never have to do the lines that we don't want to do or we don't believe in.
Yeah.
And like having that thing, and now I'm really missing stand-up, but like having that thing, I don't know, it's just really, like as an entertainer, like for me, I could always feel successful, even if success isn't there, because I'm working towards the thing that I love the most.
Yeah.
And that's within my control.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're an actor, if you're even a musician and people don't like an album, and now you're like, fuck, man, like,
Yeah.
the fuck am I supposed to do? I might not even have the opportunity to do another album. It's like, I guess with music, you could just make your music. That's
I never
maybe it's
understood.
more vulnerable if you're just like an entertainer, like where fame is the goal,
Yes.
not art is the goal. Maybe
I-
that's a more nuanced.
I understand that thing that we always joke about. White people tell their kids, like, do what you love.
Yeah.
I get, do what you're passionate about, because you can throw yourself into that completely and be fulfilled. If you're passionate about even acting, like you said, I can take this shitty role and I can be passionate about my craft and work on my craft. If my passion is just, I want to be famous, you're not going to feel full ever. So we're very fortunate in that sense that we're passionate about a thing we can just go work on, and that's it. I don't need anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that would suck.
Yeah.
If fame was success,
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you can't control your success.
and how vulnerable is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you being a successful, I don't know, that's a weird thing. Like once you tie business to it, like success is kind of has some sort of like monetary output.
Yeah.
But like being like a successful like restaurant tour or whatever like that, like you don't got to own 50 restaurants.
Right.
You could just have the best 10-seat restaurant and be proud of the food you make and
Yep.
make sure that people like that to you could be success.
Yep.
Yeah. Once you're actually like surviving off the art, after that it's like what you want.
Mhm.
But fame, there's always going to be someone more famous.
Yep.
You don't care about the thing you do to get the fame, so now you're going to be shameless.
Yep.
That's where you see people get fucked up
Mhm.
in that Hollywood system.
They got nothing to tie. They can't tie themselves to anything.
And but the reward system there is so interesting. It's like, I think we've probably spoken about this before, but like, and I'm not trying to be like New York is better than LA, but in terms of like a city, New York cares about art. Now, I don't mean paintings,
Right.
right? Like I mean like the model that's kind of like weird looking
Mhm.
will be the most popular model here.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? The rapper, like Biggie don't look
Yeah.
like he's supposed to be the biggest rapper in the world, but the art was crazy.
Yeah.
So people are like, I don't care if he's cockeyed or fat or all these
Yeah.
other things. He's just so nice. We need him.
Mhm.
You know, where
Tupac had a six pack.
he's beautiful. LA is like, oh, this is the guy. He's articulate. He's handsome. He
Yeah.
can act. We can put him in movies. Nobody's putting Big in a movie, but the bars were crazy. He's
Yeah.
shitting on everybody. So I think it's like there's something about this city that still has that like fucking artsy vibe where we appreciate the creative,
Yeah.
not just the hype. And sometimes we even shun the hype. Like if there's something that's like really popular here, like New Yorkers can kind of like reject it a little
Well,
bit.
what is theater? It's acting for not famous people.
And for not as much money too.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
just like the skill.
Right.
Right. And I think that like, I think LA, because the machine is built around monetary gain, obviously, there's more of like an industry built around it. And you could probably speak more to this, Dove, but like you need the thing that's popular because that's going to make the most money.
Yeah.
Like this is a business here,
Yes. It is
Right?
show business.
literally show business.
Yeah.
And that is the most popular industry in your town is going to inform the culture of the town. If you live in like one of these college towns that's big into sports, like part of the culture is being into Notre Dame or being into whatever the soccer team it is that is like runs that little town in England,
Yeah.
right?
New York celebrates art with museums too.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
The Guggenheim, they have them all.
Yeah.
And
I never thought about it as much like how that influences culture. But like the fact that we would even go to those museums in like elementary school.
moment. That's why you got Basquiat and Warhol. And
Yeah.
it's artists in residence. Like all of that layers so
But they're
deeply.
like they're putting it into you as like a kid. And I don't think this is bad, but they're going, hey, these places are valuable. And being in here is valuable.
And the
because
city puts money into it, and like there's a concerted effort to like cultivate that.
to let you know as a child, like art has value.
Yeah.
And I wonder if like coming up like that, like even the guys I gravitated to in stand-up were not the most popular guys. Like Patrice was not a popular guy, but I
Yeah.
was like, you're doing this the best.
Yeah.
And even the other comics that I saw, like, Mike DiStefano and like the Greer Barnes and like these guys were not necessarily the most famous guys, but I was like, but you guys are the best.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that has to do with growing up in a place where like valuing creative or valuing the art.
What
over
about
the
if you
financial
trace
success.
it all the way back to its roots, like New York, like the inception of America, like early on, you fucking Thoreau was here, and Walt Whitman was here, and you hear about all these amazing writers and all this culture that springs up, and like, hey, we're not gonna this Central Park, we're not gonna touch. This is not for commerce. You're gonna appreciate life. You're gonna appreciate art. You're gonna appreciate living.
Yeah, that is like a
so the culture that
unique
sprang
decision.
up, yeah, the culture that sprang up was we're not pure capitalism. We're about thoughts. We're about art. Whatever. LA was a fucking desert where people were like, hey, we can make money here.
Yeah.
The weather's great. Let's build houses. Let's build Hollywood. Let's move show business out here. Show business is what built LA. So the culture is fame and show business.
Joey had an interesting point. I was hanging out with Joey Avery. Shout out to Joey. And we were just driving. He was like, yeah, they rerouted a bunch of water to like, we were in the valley. And yeah, we were all driving around. And like the valley was, and I'm not talking about like fucking Calabasas or whatever, like the mountains, the nice part. I'm talking about like the dry ass valley, not a tree in sight, just hot as fuck, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, now this is not the dream that people say, like moving out here. And he goes, yeah, this is kind of like what LA is. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, LA is really a desert. The reason the climate is awesome is because you're a desert that they rerouted water to so they could get all these trees. But it wasn't supposed to look like this. They just fucked up the geology and made the perfect place, which is dry with greenery. That doesn't exist really.
Right.
So you have the perfect climate, and then obviously you build the institutions around it.
So then something phony like show business, it's completely in line with the culture. It's how the city was built. Whole city is phony.
And if yeah, wow. And if you see like even your parents latching on to whatever's popular as a kid, you're also going to latch on to whatever's popular, where you grow up in a city that might have a little bit more counterculture. I know it's crazy to even say that because New York is like a finance place. Like that's, I almost think of it now. I'm like, oh, these are where the banks are.
Yeah.
Like this is where the money is.
It is an odd mix.
But there is a fucking artist thing here, man.
Yeah.
Like
it's a subculture, the art.
And it, even like finance bros, they're called. They're kind of like douchey. Now, every girl that goes, oh, these finance bros is going to marry a finance bro eventually, 100%, and they're going to be fine. But the fact that there's even a sentiment that is like,
oh, we don't like them.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
That they're not like cool.
I see.
Now, again, I do not believe that women stand by this. I think those exact girls are going to marry them.
Yeah.
But
and probably fuck them.
They're doing fine
all the time. Yeah.
But like, even like clubs will be like, there's too many finance dudes in here. There's too.
Yeah.
Like the Lower East Side was cool and rock star, and then it's like, oh yeah, now it's all finance bros. Like they speak that they're like they're Russians. Like they speak about it like that.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's like there is a little like pure artist core in New York, or maybe I'm looking at the rose-colored glasses.
Oh, for sure. But it's also like I'm born and raised in LA. I'm one of maybe 5% of my friends that even went into entertainment. Like really, of everyone that I grew up with, you just don't see it. So everyone that does move, once they move to LA, they feel like they're already behind. Where they move to Manhattan and they're in that same culture, they're young. Like you, it's
everybody's
like
struggling here.
Everyone's struggling, and if you actually feel like you have time to figure out what part of it that you like, what subculture you like, what borough, what neighborhood, like you guys get so specific of what you like, and you have time to do that. LA, it's like you learn about it from the last person who just moved there a year before you, who's already bitter and telling you this is how the industry works and blah blah blah. So
you're 5 years behind on making connections in LA. And those connections are going to get to the place which you want.
Yeah, you don't have
Whereas
time.
New York, it's like almost like college. You're like, you're going to find your theater nerds.
Yeah.
You're going to find your gamer dudes. You're going to find these little tiny collectives of people.
And you're going to feel like there's not like a ticking clock behind you a little bit. I think you feel like you have a little time to treat it like a campus.
You said that when you came here. You were like, what did you say? It was something about like dating.
I'm shocked.
Oh, the best thing about dating here is age-wise, they don't treat me like a 38-year-old, where in LA, I was 38, and you've been seeing this meme go around, like 38 in the suburbs is 45, 38 in the city is 30. Like I truly feel that way. And which is great, first of all. But also
it makes sense. Like if you're in the suburbs, you move there probably because
you're married,
you're starting a family,
kids,
whatever. It's like, why are you 38 in the suburbs alone?
Yeah. But also here, like
you need some space.
Yeah.
Less flaking here, more open to kind of meeting and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It's been good.
I always joke that New York is the only place where, like, when I was in 28 in Florida, people are like getting married. Everyone's getting married around me. Then you move to New York and you say 28, and I always sort of feel quote unquote old or whatever. And people go, you could be 32, no money, living with 4 roommates. People go, you got time. You're going to figure it out. Like, it's the place where you sort of get time to like ease into it. And people,
there's no rush.
Yeah.
Nobody's pressuring you.
There's a rush to figure it out, but there's no rush.
It's a little
to,
Neverlandish. A little bit, in the sense of like,
Yeah.
I also think like in New York, you're coming here for what you believe to be your purpose.
Yeah.
And when you have your purpose, there's always extra time allotted to you for life's purpose, which is maybe having a family and kids. You know, like if you're just sitting around and doing nothing and working at a job you hate and you're not even starting a family, it's like, the fuck is going on? Like if you hate your job and you don't want to do anything, bring some children into the world and enjoy your life with them.
Yeah.
Like now you have something to look forward to every single time you come home from your shitty job. But if you're in a city like New York where you are dedicating fucking 14 hours a day to this dream of yours, I think people go, oh yeah, I see why you haven't popped some kids out. Maybe that's my justification for like where I'm at. But
everyone in New York, my favorite thing about it is even if you have the shitty job, you work at a coffee shop, they're doing stuff at night. That's
it's
their
cool
hustle.
as hell.
Yeah. And that's their hustle. And they go, yeah, at night I'm a DJ. You should come out to my thing. And then you go and you're like, oh, they're good.
And that
they're trying so hard. But you go into the suburbs, they get home at night and they're like, all right, what's on Netflix, whatever.
And that your hustle makes your day job so much more palatable. Yeah. Like being 30 and working at the coffee shop because you're a DJ or you're a comedian or you're a filmmaker. It's like you're a filmmaker that has to do that on the side.
Yeah.
That's not the main thing. And it's so much easier to do the job you hate if you know it's providing for that really cool thing that you've been working